Madam Clerk, is a quorum present? To either of the constables of the town of Raynham and the county of Bristol, greeting in the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of said town qualified to vote in elections and in town affairs to meet at the Raynham Middle School in said Raynham on Monday the 15th of May 2017 at 6:45 o'clock in the evening, and there to act on the following articles, and there are 8. And you are directed to serve this warrant by posting up attested copies thereof at the 6 places directed by the vote of the town in said town 14 days before the time of holding said meeting. Hereof fail not and make due return of this warrant with your doings thereon to the town clerk at the time and place of meeting as aforesaid, given under our hands this 25th day of April in the year of our Lord 2017, that is signed by the Board of Selectmen, Joseph R. Pacheco, Karen Donahue, and Marie A. Smith. A true copy attested by James Donovan, Constable. Pursuant to the within warrant, I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the town of Raynham by posting up attested copies of the same at 6 places directed by vote of the town 14 days before the date of the meeting as within directed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Donahue. I'm your town moderator. We're going to dispense of the special town meeting fairly quickly here. We'll pause for a minute. We'll get ourselves settled in up here for the annual town meeting. We should be going on that by 7:10 or 7:15 at the very latest. So the special town meeting is, it's not the booklet, it's the pages of paper you were handed on the way in. Article 1, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $24,000 from free cash to legal expenses or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 1. Discussion on Article 1. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 1, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 1 passes. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of from free cash to the fire department personnel expense account to pay overtime incurred to the 3 firefighters out on extended line of duty injuries and 1 firefighter out on extended sick leave or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 2. Discussion on Article 2. Either one?
Yes.
Chief?
Moderator? This one?
Yep.
I'd like to amend Article 2 to read, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $110,000 from free cash to the fire department personnel expense account to pay overtime incurred due to 4 firefighters out on extended line of duty and 1 firefighter out extended sick time, or take any action relative thereto.
Motion has been made and seconded to amend Article 2 to insert the figure $110,000 on the blank line, as well as to strike the word 3 and replace it with the word 4. Discussion on the motion to amend Article 2. Seeing none, all in favor of amending Article 2, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 2 is amended. I have a motion to approve as amended Article 2 and a second. Discussion on the motion to approve Article 2 as amended. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 2 as amended, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 2 passes as amended. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $11,869 from free cash to the police department personnel expense account to fund the settlement of contract negotiations for the Raynham 911 signal operators or take any action relative thereto. Competing motions. Would you like to withdraw, Mrs. Downey? Do I have a second? Motion has been made and seconded to dismiss Article 3. Discussion on the motion to dismiss Article 3. Seeing none, all in favor of dismissing Article 3, please say aye. Aye. We're not losing our energy this quickly, are we? Let's try that again. All those in favor of dismissing Article 3, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 3 is dismissed. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $6,433 from free cash to the property insurance account or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 4. Discussion on Article 4. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 4, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 4 passes. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $29,970 from free cash to the Board of Selectmen personnel expense to pay sick leave buyback for a retiring employee or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 5. Discussion on Article 5. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 5, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Article 5 passes. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $100,000 from free cash to the general stabilization account or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 6. Discussion on Article 6. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 6, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Article 6 passes. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $50,000 from free cash to the OPEB, Other Post-Employment Benefits Trust Fund, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 7. Discussion on Article 7. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 7, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Article 7 passes. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to transfer $37,793 from free cash to the reserve fund transfer account or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 8. Discussion on Article 8. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Article 8 passes. Motion has been made and seconded to dissolve the special town meeting. Discussion on the motion to dissolve? Mr. Wheeler.
What is the balance of the free cash after the transactions we just had?
So I would assume that that would be part of Mr. Leggie's preemptory remarks as we open the annual. If it can wait to the annual, Dwayne, we can.
Sure.
Are any of these articles pending that question in your mind? Okay.
No, I was just curious.
Yep. No, that's a great question. That question should be asked, and I'm sure Mr. Leggi will fill us in when the time comes. No, he won't? There's a motion on the floor to dissolve the special town meeting. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Special town meeting is dissolved. We will break for just less than 5 minutes, folks. Stay with us. Madam Clerk, does a quorum remain present? To either of the constables of the town of Raynham or the county of Bristol greeting. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of said town qualified to vote in elections and in town affairs to meet at the Raynham Middle School's Joseph A. Betancourt Auditorium in said Raynham on Monday the 15th of May at 7 o'clock in the evening. Then and there to act on the following articles, and there are 28. And you are directed to serve this warrant by posting up attested copies thereof at the 6 places directed by the vote of the town, in said town, 7 days before the timing of holding said meeting. Hereof fail not, make due return of this warrant with your doings thereon to the town clerk at the time and place of meeting as aforesaid. Given under our hands this 11th day of April in the year of our Lord 2017, signed by the Board of Selectmen, Joseph R. Pacheco, Marie A. Smith, and Karen Roberts. Pursuant to the within warrant, I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the town of Raynham by posting up attested copies of the same at 6 places directed by vote of the town, 7 days before the date of the meeting as within described, and that is signed by James Donovan, Constable of Raynham. I would ask you all to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome to the annual town meeting. It seems like forever since we've been together, thinking back to last November with the special town meeting. I find as I get older, the winters seem to last a bit longer, but nevertheless, here we are. We are joined tonight by several distinguished visitors. We've got Congressman Stephen Lynch representing the 9th District of Massachusetts with us tonight, State Representative Angelo D'Amelia representing Raynham in the 8th Plymouth District. Am I missing one? We're also joined by a number of department heads and committee members and chairs, Start up on the dais here with me and got our Board of Selectmen, Chair Karen Donahue, sorry, Marie Smith, Joe Pacheco, Town Council Ted Peetnick, Finance Committee is down there, and we've got our Chair Gil Aligi, James Halleck, Linda DeMello, Joe Bickle, and Maria Gomes. I don't think she snuck in, no? Got everybody up here? Oh, and our Town Clerk, Marcia Sylvia, how could I forget? We're going to start tonight with where we normally start, and that is the, well, also got our acting, where's Dave? Oh, right here. Our acting, sorry, this will be our first annual town meeting without Randy Buckner, so our acting town administrator, Dave Flaherty, is here as well. Interim sounds better, you're not acting. If you're acting, it would be pretending, right? Interim. Pending bigger and better things, Dave Flaherty is here with us tonight as well. We're going to start tonight with Chair Robert. Oh, geez, I'm going to do this all night long. Chair Donahue and the presentation of the Al Porter Award.
Good evening, everybody. It is my distinct honor and privilege to honor two men this evening, Mr. James Banks, a Navy veteran, and Mr. William Ryder, an Air Force veteran, for their dedication and service over the last several hundred, sorry, several decades. We can't thank you enough for all you've done. You've been instrumental with the veterans in the town. You've done so much to help everybody. You've done the memorials. You've been there for every parade. You've been upstanding citizens, and we can't thank you for all your time and effort. And it is my distinct honor and privilege to give you the Al Porter Award for outstanding citizens of the town of Raynham.
This came out of the blue. We had no idea this was going to happen. A good friend of mine said that about 40 years ago when we moved to Raynham, we hit the lottery. And he's right on, he's spot on. This town has been very, very good to me, my family, and all my friends, and all the veterans. I want to thank you very much for this award.
I also want to thank you very much. This blindsided me. Still trying to figure out exactly what we did to bestow this honor, but we love Raynham. Raynham's been good to us. The American Legion, I'm past commander. Jimmy is the commander present, and it's been a lifetime tour for us. Thank you very much.
I think we would all agree that the Legion's been very good to Raynham as well. Before we get going on the formalities of the town meeting, I know Congressman Lynch was going to say a few words from D.C. Come on up, Congressman. I've had the pleasure to get to know the Congressman through my professional life, and it's always a pleasure to have him come all the way down to the southernmost reaches of his district and share with us some pearls of wisdom from TC, if that's possible. He's got someplace to be right after this. I'm sure he's got a busy night ahead of him, so I'm sure he'll walk up that aisle as soon as he's done talking.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. And congratulations to our honored veterans who certainly deserve it. Thank you for your service. Mr. Moderator, my colleagues in government, Joe, Karen, Marie, all of my colleagues in government, good to be here. Normally I'm in Washington, D.C., as well as Representative Amelia. Good to see you again. Usually I'm in D.C. on... Yeah, right. No, I'm normally in D.C. on Monday nights. Let's keep that straight. It works for both of us that way. So I'm normally in Washington, D.C. on Monday nights, but tonight I'm thankful to be here with you for town meeting. I'm also grateful for the opportunity to speak briefly, just to give an update on what's going on in Washington, D.C. in the last couple of weeks especially. In our last weekly session, there were 2 bills passed, which were, I think, significant for the families of Raynham. We had a bipartisan resolution to fund the government operations through September, which avoided a government shutdown, and also provided an opportunity for Congress to work on a larger, longer-range plan for tax reform, which is desperately needed in this country. The House also passed the American Health Care Act, which unfortunately I had to vote against for various reasons. The bill was really a cost-shifting bill. It didn't do anything really to lower the cost of health care, which is badly needed in this country. It merely shifted costs from the federal government to the states, from federal responsibility to state responsibility, which is just another pocket that you have, and really didn't reduce the cost. It shifted the responsibility and the costs from a healthier population to a sicker population. It shifted the cost from younger people to older people. So it really wasn't a meaningful effort at lowering the cost of health care. And also, it had some provisions there that I think were very, very bad for our veterans. The provisions in this law, the American Health Care Act, which actually went to the Senate, it uses tax credits instead of subsidies that are now afforded under the Affordable Care Act. So at the end of the year, it allows people who have high health care costs to have tax credits to reduce the cost of that care, except veterans. Any veteran eligible for VA health care, which is anybody who's honorably discharged, would not be able to use those tax credits if they had to go outside the VA system to get health care. So, perfect example, I have a lot of our World War II veterans, and increasingly our Korean and Vietnam veterans who get joint replacement, either a knee replacement or a hip replacement. These are very, very expensive operations. It's something that the VA isn't necessarily a specialist at. So a lot of my veterans go outside the VA. We have a bunch, Dr. Burke and a number of others in this area who do knee replacements and hip replacements. Very expensive operations, but oftentimes hugely successful and really raise the quality of life for a lot of our seniors, including our veterans. So if a veteran had to go for a knee or a hip replacement and it cost, $30,000 or $50,000 or $60,000 for that replacement, they wouldn't be able to use the tax credits in the bill to lower their costs. And no veteran, no one should be penalized, as this bill would, for serving their country. So hopefully, when the bill goes over the Senate, we've made a number of the senators aware, John Tester from Montana, Ed Markey from Massachusetts, are looking at that provision of the bill to see if they can remove it, so when it goes to conference, we remove that bill and hopefully make the bill a lot better coming back. I do want, mentioning our veterans, I do want to recognize someone who I worked with for a lot of years here, John Montagano, who was our former Veteran Service Officer in the town of Raynham, did a wonderful, wonderful job. I have 727,514 people in my district, 3 cities and 19 towns, and there was no one better in caring for our veterans, whether it was a World War II veteran or one of our kids coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan. John was there, not only for the veterans but also for their families. And I just want to congratulate him on his wonderful service to the town of Raynham and to our veterans. And we also have now with us, I understand she's on her second week. She stepped into some big shoes, but Michaela Brito-Patton is our new Veteran Service Officer in Raynham, and it'll be great to be working with her. She's already on the job, so there was no lapse in terms of the services. Several weeks ago, I had a chance to visit Iraq. Again, this was my 18th trip, I think, to review the military operations in and around Mosul. Much different from previous trips. The Iraqis are now really responsible for 99% of the fighting. The U.S. troops are there for advisory purposes, for training purposes, and for logistics purposes in dealing with airstrikes. As I said, the Iraqis are doing most of the fighting and incurring, I say, probably 99% of the casualties. The U.S., again, is mostly in an assist role there. But I know that there's some additional discussion in Congress right now. The President has announced that he may be sending additional troops there, as well as an additional 5,000 into Afghanistan, so we'll watch that very, very closely. In closing, I have an opportunity to work with, because I'm in Washington usually 4 or 5 days a week, I rely heavily on our Board of Selectmen and also on Randy Buckner, Town Administrator, longtime Town Administrator. And I know that last town meeting, I think it was his last, I was hoping he would be here this evening. But I brought along a citation on, I just want to recognize him publicly. I know there'll be something later on more official regarding his retirement, but I'll make sure, so these are a set of nice couplings from him, for him, and also there's a citation here, and I'd just like to take a moment to read it very quick. This certificate of special congressional recognition is presented to Randy Buckner for 30 years of dedicated service to the town of Raynham as town administrator. Offered this 15th day of May, 2017, by Stephen F. Lynch, Member of Congress. Randy, thank you very much. Being a town official is often a very difficult job and a very personal one. And I have to say that any time that we reached out to Randy on issues affecting the town of Raynham, he was always energetic and enthusiastic and completely engaged in doing the job that the people of Raynham elected him to do. So congratulations and thank you. In closing, I consider it a wonderful honor to be able to represent the people of Raynham in the United States Congress. You're a shining example of what's best about America. May God bless the town of Raynham, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Congressman. It's always a pleasure to see you, and thank you for the update from Washington. Just a few ground rules here tonight. There aren't many, but we usually don't need to mention them, but I always like to, just in case. When you all walked in, you got one of these. This is in the event of a count that's necessary for me to come down to the audience and actually count these, because a voice count isn't distinctive enough. This will be what I'll be counting. I won't be counting a hand. I'll be counting a pink square. This is what tells us that you're an eligible voter. So if I do have to come down, I'll do the stage first. And I'll work on my left, your right section. Then I'll do the center. Then I'll do the eligible voters on this side. All I would ask is that if we do come to a show of hands vote, that you are in a seat. Those are the only times that I'll count the pink squares, if you're actually in a seat, except for Mr. LaPlante back there. I'm not going to make him sit. I asked him to sit once, and he gave me a funny look. And I don't like to get Raynham's finest on the wrong side. So you can stand, David. There you see two articles are, two microphones are set up in the aisles. If you do have a question or a comment on a particular article, all I would ask is that you make your way to the microphone, and when you get there, the town clerk would appreciate it if you could let everybody know who you are and where you live for the record. Obviously, we like to keep the comments germane to the article in hand and not get too far off of the topic of discussion. That's why we're here. We're here to do the town's business and set up the town for continued success into fiscal year 2018. I move quickly, folks. If you want to get my attention, I'll pause. I'll look up after I've done reading and we have the motions on the floor. I look up. I don't see anybody moving, I move on, and I think that's what you want me to do, so that's what I do. If you can't get to the microphone because you're in the center of an aisle, just raise your hand, yell out, get my attention, we'll wait for you. We're in no hurry. But we do like to hold an efficient meeting. I think that's pretty much it. Cell phones in silent mode, down here maybe, cell phones in silent mode. Heard one going off during the congressman's discussion. Maybe that was his though, I don't know. We'll work through the articles one by one. Article 3 is the town budget. And when we get there, it gets a little tedious, and bear with me, but I will read through each line item on the budget. I will pause after I read each line item, and you can see those line items in the back of your booklet. So if you have a question, or if one of our town officials has a motion to amend, all I would ask is that you don't have to get up and do it, just be loud and yell hold. And that will tell me that we need to circle back to the budget, the line item, and then when I'm done reading the entire budget, and then we go back and we deal with the holds, and hopefully we take care of any amendments and we vote the budget in total. We're not going to use the consent agenda tonight. The articles are fairly straightforward, and there aren't too many of them, so I think we can move fairly quickly and do the town's business fairly quickly tonight. Gordon, I can't get you out of here by tip-off, but we'll be close. So, I think I've got it all. Any questions? Any first-timers here? No one's going to admit it. Okay, that's fine. If you have any questions during the course of the town meeting, just get my attention, and we'll do our best to explain what's going on or answer any questions that you may have. Those are the ground rules, folks. It's pretty straightforward. So, we'll get going if you're ready. Article 1, to choose by nomination all minor town officers, fence viewers, and field drivers, surveyor of lumber and measurer of wood, take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 1. Discussion on Article 1. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 1 passes. Article 2, see if the town will vote to accept the report of the town officers or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 2. Discussion on Article 2. And the town report, folks, is they were available out on the desk when we came in. Joe's holding one up right here. It's fantastic reading. Take that home with you tonight. I think Mr. Buckner was on it, right? So it was a nice write-up on Mr. Buckner. Discussion on Article 2. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 2, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 2 passes. Article 3, to raise such sums of money as may be necessary to defray town charges and make appropriations for same or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 3. And here we go, folks. I would ask the Finance Committee, I'm not working off the booklet, I'm working off what I believe to be the final budget. So if I have a bad copy or if I misread something, if you could just get my attention. But all I'll read, folks, is the, let's see what it looks like in the book. I'll read the summation in the bold next to the department number. I won't read the individual line items in the individual departments. So, again, just yell hold if you have a question or you want me to circle back around on this. Moderator, $1,000. Selectmen, $201,160. Finance Committee, $6,110. Reserve Fund, $75,000. Town accountant, $91,185. Audit, $17,000. Assessor, $126,846. Town treasurer collector, $250,429. Capital planning expenses, $5,000. Town council expense, $92,000. Data processing MIS, $112,250. Tax title, $49,920. Town clerk, $157,203. Primaries and elections, $12,917. Census and street listings, $6,626. Conservation Commission, $61,217. Town planner, $28,600. Planning board, $58,842. Zoning appeals, $9,802. Economic business development, $2,000. Serpid, $2,328. Public buildings and property maintenance, $135,000, $135,162. Property insurance, $82,900. Town reports, $4,000. Police department, $4,673,868. Fire department, $2,969,305. Hold on the fire department. Building department, $126,034. Plumbing and gas, $37,238. Weights and measures, $14,225. Electrical, $28,306. Animal inspection, $4,191. Emergency management, $8,055. Animal control officer, $33,550. Forestry, $58,868. Bridgewater Raynham Regional School District, $17,412,895. Bristol Plymouth Vocational, $1,564,583. Bristol County Agricultural High School, $25,000. Engineering expense, $8,000. Highway Parks and Grounds, $1,199,771. Hold on Highway Parks and Grounds. Snow and ice, $50,000. Street lighting, $33,000. Solid waste disposal, $366,019. Water distribution, hydrant rental, $10,000. Cemetery, $163,119. Board of Health, $120,312. Council on Aging, $103,610. Veteran Services, $173,420. Library, $369,932. Recreation, $180,426. Historical Commission, $1,000. Retirement of debt, $1,419,818.75. Interest on long-term debt, $399,438.25. Interest on short-term debt, $7,000. Retirement and pension contributions, $1,805,000. Workers' compensation, $175,000. Unemployment compensation, $15,000. Health insurance, $1,939,000. Life insurance, $2,400. Medicare, $138,000. Southeastern Regional, $4,100. Liability insurance, $53,000. For a grand total of $37,281,981. So, I've got two holds. Let's go back, Mr. Legge, to Fire Department, if you would.
Moderator, I move to amend the personnel expenses to $2,854,018.
2854018.
Correct.
That's fire personnel expenses. Can I get a second?
Second.
We have a motion to amend the fire personnel expenses line item to read $2,854,018, replacing $2,779,144, resulting in a bottom line for the fire department. Make sure I have this right, Mr. Legge, of $3,031,605. Discussion on the motion to amend the fire department budget. Seeing none, I'll hold that for 1 second. And we're going to go over to Highway Parks and Grounds.
Mr. Moderator,
Mr.
I move
Legge.
to amend personnel expenses to $844,664. Second.
Motion to amend and seconded Highway Parks and Grounds personnel expenses to $844,664, replacing $827,589, resulting in a bottom line of $1,216,837. Do I have that right, Mr. Legge? Discussion on the motion to amend. Sorry, folks, breaking my own rules up here. Okay, no discussion on that, so we've got two amendments, and let's take a look at the total bottom line, Mr. Legge. What are you proposing there?
So two amendments, the total will be $37,361,356.
Okay, so the resulting two motions, the two amendments, I'm sorry, one motion, result in a bottom line of $37,361,356. Correct, we have all those numbers, we have a high level of confidence there. Okay, so on the motion to amend, folks, on the motion to amend the fire department and the highway parks and grounds, as well as the resultant change to the bottom line. Discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion to amend is. Motion has been made and seconded to accept the budget as amended. Discussion on the budget as amended. You good? You're looking at me like you're not good. You're good? Questions, folks? Seeing none, all in favor of the budget, Article 3 as amended, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Budget carries. The town is funded for fiscal year 18. Everybody good here? Town council, good? Any amendments? Okay, board, plan? Thanks for your patience on that, folks. That's the most painful part of the evening, usually. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer the sum of $400 for quarters for the American Legion, Post 405, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 4. Discussion on Article 4. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 4, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 4 passes. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to authorize the town treasurer with the approval of the selectmen to borrow money from time to time in anticipation of the revenue for the financial year beginning July 1, 2017, in accordance with the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 4, and to issue notes, therefore payable within 1 year, and to renew any note or notes as may be given for a period of less than 1 year in accordance with General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 17. Take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 5. Discussion on Article 5. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 5, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 5 passes. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sign contracts on behalf of the town of Raynham upon such terms and conditions as they deem appropriate for any matter which requires a signed contract by the Board of Selectmen to take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 6. Discussion on Article 6. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 6, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 6 passes. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept and enter into contracts for the expenditure of any funds allotted or to be allotted by the Commonwealth and/or county for construction, reconstruction, and improvements of the town infrastructure, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to borrow in anticipation of reimbursement of funds or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 7. Discussion on Article 7. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 7, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 7 passes. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to authorize an offset receipts account under Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53E, to fund the operations of the before and after school daycare run by Parks and Recreation Department, and to authorize expenditures of $218,500 for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2017, as follows, and is listed in your warrant. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 8. Discussion on Article 8. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 8, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 8 passes. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to reauthorize a revolving fund pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, for the purpose of receiving and expending funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017, as a result of reimbursable incidents allowed under Mass General Laws, Chapter 21E, involving hazardous materials releases. Receipts generated shall be deposited into this revolving fund, and expenditures not to exceed $100,000 may be expended by the fire chief without further appropriation or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 9. Discussion on Article 9. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 9 passes. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to reauthorize the fire alarm revolving fund under Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, for the purpose of receiving and expending funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017. Receipts generated from fire alarm permits, inspections, and details shall be deposited into this revolving fund, and expenditures including, but not limited to, vehicle maintenance, detail pay, overtime coverage for replacement of the fire inspector, all equipment related to radio controlled boxes not to exceed $60,000, which may be expended by the fire chief without further appropriation, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 10. Discussion on Article 10. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 10, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 10 passes. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to reauthorize the Council on Aging Activities Revolving Fund under Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53E1/2 for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017. Council on Aging Activities Revolving Fund is to be credited with all fees and charges received in association with programs and activities of which a user fee is charged. Said receipts shall be deposited into this revolving fund, and expenditures not to exceed $20,000 may be expended by the Council on Aging without further appropriation to take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 11. Discussion on Article 11. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 11, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 11 passes. That essentially completes the housekeeping articles. The first 11 are generally here every year. So from here on, we start to get into the meat of the order, if you will, with Article 12. See if the town will vote to transfer $338,084 as detailed below from the ambulance receipts account to operate the ambulance service for the first half of fiscal year 2018. Any unused funds at the end of fiscal year 2018 to be returned to the ambulance receipts account or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 12. Discussion on Article 12.
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Aligi.
I would like to amend Article 12 to change the personnel expenses from $221,030 to $232,054.
And what does that bring the grand total up to, Mr. Aligi?
$349,108.
349108. Motion has been made and seconded to amend Article 12 to do the following. In the very first line of the article, we're going to replace 334084 with 349108. And then down below in the body of the article, we're proposing to change personnel expenses 221030 to 232054, and the grand total from 338084, 349108. Got that right? Discussion on the motion to amend Article 12. Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to amend Article 12, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 12 is amended. Approve as amended? Motion has been made to approve Article 12 as amended and seconded. Discussion on Article 12 as amended. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 12 as amended, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 12 passes as amended. Article 13, to see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $2,503,119 to be raised from sewer enterprise revenues for the operation and maintenance of the sewer department as categorized below, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 13. Discussion on Article 13. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 13, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 13 passes. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $628,918 from sewer retained earnings as categorized below, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 14. Discussion on Article 14. I will note below the article you'll see that $1,549,164 is already appropriated in the general fund from tax levy for sewer construction debt. Further discussion on Article 14. Some of you may recognize that we did a little work on Articles 13 and 14 this year. This used to be all compressed into one big, I don't think the sewer commission will take me to task for describing it as one big messy article. We've cleaned it up and streamlined it, and it makes me very happy to read these two articles separate from one another. Discussion on Article 14? Seeing none, all in favor of Article 14, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 14 passes. It's the halfway point, folks. Article 15, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1,272,290 for the purpose of paying the debt service on the outstanding bonds and notes for the Raynham Middle School, renovation projects for Liberty Elementary School and the middle school, and for the regional high school, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 15. Discussion on Article 15. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 15, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 15 passes. Article 16, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 for the purpose of providing professional services, stormwater management expenses, land acquisition, materials and construction contract obligations in order to make improvements to town infrastructure or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 16. Discussion on Article 16. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 16, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 16 passes. Article 17, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $60,000 for the sewer betterment fund or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 17. Discussion on Article 17. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 17, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 17 passes. Article 18, to see if the town will vote to transfer from the bond premiums account the sum of $13,656 for payment of fiscal year 18 debt service as described below, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 18. Discussion on Article 18. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 18, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 18 passes. Article 19, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $30,000 to carry out state-mandated recertification interim adjustments of all real and personal property valuations and maintenance services for fiscal year 2019. Take any action relative thereto. And note this will be year one of a 3-year contract. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 19. Discussion on Article 19. You have the right fiscal year there? Anybody here from assessors? Mike? Is that the right fiscal year?
Right. The certification year
Is FY19? Gotcha, thank you. Figured we had one shot to correct it. I might as well ask the question, right? Further discussion on Article 19? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 19 passes. Article 20, to see if the town will vote to transfer from receipts reserved for appropriation account number 220-650, Warden Colony, the amount of $25,700 to the general fund to offset the associated Warden Colony expenditures of the general operating budget, any unused funds at the end of fiscal year 2018 to be returned to the Warden Colony receipts reserved for appropriation account or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 20. Discussion on Article 20. Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 20, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 20 passes. Before I go to Article 21, I neglected to get permission of the town meeting to allow non-residents to speak if needed, either a proponent of an article or a department head reporting on an article. Without objection, is town meeting okay with allowing non-residents to speak? We usually are. Any objection, make it known now. Very good. Article 21, to see if the town will vote to amend the town of Raynham zoning bylaws by adding a new section 6.12 estate lots as follows, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 21. Discussion on Article 21. Go ahead.
I have a question before we leave the money articles. I expected to see a a request for $100,000.
We forgot to give you your update, didn't we? Let us get through this one and we'll circle back to Gil. Thanks for reminding me, Dwayne.
No, I had expected to see a $100,000 article to finish the reserve, to build that salt building in the
Let's come-
highway department.
Let's come right back to this. I've got a motion on the floor I'd like to clear up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. We'll get to you, I promise.
My name is Bob Iafredi, I'm the building commissioner. On February 16, 2017, the planning board held a public hearing on Article 21, and it had a unanimous vote to recommend the article as it appears in the warrant.
Thank you, Mr. Iafredi. Does anybody want to explain Article 21, or do you want me to read it into the record? A brief explanation. Is anybody from the planning board here? Mr. Iafredi? Double duty tonight.
Brief explanation, it's just a way to use some backlands so we can legally build single-family homes. Pretty much. So most other towns have these similar bylaws, and Raynham didn't have one, so the planning board has been working on this bylaw for probably since I've been here, better part of 2.5, 3 years, and this is the final draft.
Thank you for that. Questions on Article 21? Discussion on Article 21. Before I call the vote, folks, this, as it's a change to the town bylaws, we'll need a 2/3 vote. Seeing no questions or discussion, all those in favor of Article 21, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 21 passes unanimously. All right, I'm going to pause here and put Mr. Aligi on the spot. So we had promised Mr. Wheeler a brief update on the financial condition of the town, with some balances perhaps. Is that what you want? That's what you wanted. Your first question, going back to the special town meeting, do I
I was
right?
really interested in what the remaining balance of the free cash.
Okay.
I assumed it's pretty high.
Well, the remaining free cash from the last fiscal year is approximately $200,000, and then there'll be more certified free cash from this fiscal year. You had also asked about funding for the salt building. That will appear on the special town meeting in the fall.
In November?
Yes.
I expect to see you here, Glenn.
How many?
Yeah, I know you will. All right, moving on. Is that, we good? Any other questions on the
Thank you.
Anybody else have, while Mr. Aligi's on the hot seat, any more questions on the financial condition of the town? This would be the time to ask.
John, I have one more comment. The value of the stabilization fund right now, after we made the $100,000 addition this evening, is $2.8 million, which is approximately 7% of the town's budget.
Where are we going? Where are we trying to get to? Or are we there?
I think we're there.
Maybe we'll pull an old article from 10 years ago about reducing the tax rate. Would that work for you guys? Just plant the seed. I'm a voter too and a taxpayer. I can see these things just like you guys can. Just because I'm up here doesn't mean I can't have my opinions. All right, we're moving on to Article 22. Maybe this article will spark a little bit of dialogue. To see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Raynham general bylaws by adding a new section 2/45, marijuana not medically prescribed, as follows. Section 2/45, marijuana not medically prescribed, consistent with Mass General Laws 94G, Section 3A2, all types of marijuana establishments as defined in Mass General Laws Chapter 94G, Section 1J, to include all marijuana cultivators, marijuana testing facilities, marijuana product manufacturers, marijuana retailers, or any other types of licensed marijuana-related business shall be prohibited within the town of Raynham or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to accept Article 22. And that's the most I've said marijuana in 20 years. Trust me. Mr. Iafredi.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Bob Iafredi again from the building department. May 4th, 2017, the planning board held a public hearing on Article 22 and 23, which go hand in hand. And the result of that public hearing was unanimous vote by the planning board to recommend both articles.
Thank you, sir. Questions or discussion? This is on the floor, right? We motioned it, yeah. Questions or discussion on Article 22?
We were going to get an explanation of this, I was at the pre-town meeting. We were going to get an explanation of how it works.
Okay. You're requesting an explanation of Article 22. Mr. Pacheco is reaching for the microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. So I'll start, and if you need any further clarification, town council is available. The last state election, there was a ballot question 4, that would legalize non-medical marijuana. The town of Raynham voted to not support that question. Subsequent to that, myself and I believe my colleagues on the board have received numerous correspondence from residents of Raynham seeking the ability to utilize a provision within that legislation that would allow for town by town to prohibit the sale of non-medical marijuana. And so that's what this article and the subsequent article seek to do, is to prohibit the sale of non-medical marijuana. State law prohibits us from prohibiting medical marijuana. So again, I just want to emphasize this is for non-medical marijuana sales within the Commonwealth, and specifically within the town of Raynham. Does that answer your question, Tony?
So it's not just a sale, it sounds like it's everything having to do
And any activities related to non-medical marijuana.
in both of them.
So the first one is the bylaw, and it's the sale and creation and dispensing. The second one is zoning. So you have to do a two-pronged. One's the activity and one's the actual zoning for a location.
Did we read out all your questions? Yeah, good. Further discussion on Article 22? All those in favor of Article 22, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 22 passes. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to amend the town of Raynham zoning bylaws by adding a new section 6.13, marijuana not medically prescribed, under Article 6, regulations as follows. Marijuana not medically prescribed, consistent with Mass General Laws 94G, Section 3A2. All types of marijuana establishments is defined in Mass General Laws 94G, Section 1J, to include all marijuana cultivators, marijuana testing facilities, marijuana product manufacturers, marijuana retailers, or any other types of licensed marijuana-related business shall be prohibited within the town of Raynham or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 23. Discussion on Article 23. And again, these are zoning changes, bylaw changes, folks, so we do need to get a 2/3 vote. That was the brief sidebar we had at the conclusion of the vote for Article 22. Further discussion on Article 23? Seeing none, all in favor of Article 23, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. One dissenting vote is what I heard. Article 23 passes. Article 24, to see if the town will vote to accept the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 200A, Section 9A, to provide an alternative procedure for disposing of abandoned funds held in the custody of the town or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 24. Discussion on Article 24. Mr. King.
Mr. Moderator, Michael King, Treasurer Collector. I just want to clarify for the purposes of this article, abandoned funds are stale dated checks. Checks written by the town of Raynham are stale dated after 1 year. This would allow the process for, after notifications, that these stale dated checks could be transferred to the general fund. Currently, there is a list of abandoned property on the town of Raynham website, specifically on the Treasurer Collector webpage. There is about $7,000, totaling about 80 checks. This specifies what the process would be. So, of course, after a check becomes stale dated after 1 year, it would be posted on the town website for a minimum of 60 days. Subsequently, it would have to have a newspaper article taken out, and then they would have another 60 days to claim it. If the check is in the amount of over $100, then another newspaper article would be taken out, and they would have 1 year to claim the funds. And at that time, if no one stepped forward after close to 2.5 years at minimum, the town could then transfer the funds to the general fund.
Thank you for that explanation, Mr. King. Questions or further discussion on Article 24? Seeing none, all in favor of Article 24, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 24 passes. Article 25, to see if the town will vote to accept the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 33, Section 59, which will allow the town to pay the difference between the base military pay and a town employee's salary if said employee is in the Mass National Guard or a reserve unit of the U.S. Armed Forces and is called to active duty. Other provisions require no loss of seniority or accrued vacation leave, sick leave, etc. as a result of being called to active duty or taking the action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 25. Discussion on Article 25. Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 25, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 25 passes. Article 26, to see if the town will vote to accept the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 83, Sections 16A through 16F inclusive, to allow the town to lien unpaid sewer usage charges to serviced properties and other municipalities or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 26. Mr. King.
Michael King, Treasurer Collector. This article allows the town to lien unpaid sewer usage charges to properties that are outside the municipality. There are several properties specifically on the town line, which is Prospect Hill Street in Taunton. Many people might be familiar that that is the border with the city of Taunton and there's sewer line on that street. And we have about 2 properties right now that we've had some issues collecting back sewer usage charges. This will give us another tool to collect those charges by certifying with the tax collector in the city of Taunton these amounts, which will be subsequently put on their real estate tax bill. And once those receipts come in, a check will be written to the town of Raynham, and we would credit that if receivable. Thank you.
Thank you for that explanation. Further discussion on Article 26. Seeing none, all in favor of Article 26, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 26 passes. Article 27, to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Raynham General Bylaws by adding a new section to establish and authorize resolving funds for use by certain town departments, boards, committees, agencies, or officers under Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, subsection 53E and a half, for taking the action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 27. Discussion on Article 27. I'd read it, folks, but I don't think you want me to, do you? Anybody want to explain it briefly, or anyone else have any questions? No? Further discussion on Article 27? Questions? Seeing none, all in favor of Article 27, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 27 passes. Article 28, to see if the town will vote to accept 2 parcels of open space known as Assessor's Lot 12-242D and 12-229A, said lots being shown as NF Russell Ness Graybow Company, Inc., and open space on a plan entitled Declaration of Restriction Plan, Carriage Hill Estates Phase 2, dated July 26, 2010. Last revised 3/15/11 by Outback Engineering, Inc., 165 East Grove Street, Middleborough, Mass. 02346, and recorded with Bristol County Northern District Registry of Deeds and Plan Book 481, page 15, such accepting being subject to conveyance and fee of said land by the owner or owners at no cost to the town, or take any action relative thereto. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Article 28. Discussion on Article 28. Mr. King.
Mr. Moderator, Michael King, Treasurer Collector. I would just like to announce that the taxes are paid in full on both of these properties, and that a deed has been drafted by the grantor at no cost to the town, and the fee to record said deed will be borne by the grantor as well.
Thank you for that update, sir. Further discussion or questions on Article 28? Seeing none, all in favor of Article 28, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Article 28 passes. Folks, sorry, I'm jumping the gun. Motion has been made and seconded to dissolve the annual town meeting. Discussion on the motion to dissolve annual town meeting? Seeing none, all in favor of dissolving town meeting, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We are dissolved. Thank you very much, folks, for your patience. We'll see you all again real soon.